Remember the explosion in the pits that changed everything? Jerry Eckman had the world on a string until a hidden bottle turned his Firebird into a ticking time bomb. Today, we're peeling back the fiberglass to show you the secret tech that shattered the integrity of the factory hot rods forever. The pits became a crime scene fast. Loud blast. Officials tear off the body and find a nitrous bottle nobody expected. Hidden in the oil tank. Smart trick gone wrong from too much heat. Want to see how they pulled it off and how it all fell apart? Watch how Jerry Eckman's cheat blew up, literally. The pits go from racing to a crime scene. It was June 13, 1997. The place was National Trail Raceway in Columbus, Ohio. This was the Pontiac Excitement Nationals, a big NHRA event. Jerry Eckman's Pennzoil Pontiac Firebird was sitting in the pits. The car looked clean. It was supposed to be a normal, naturally aspirated pro stock ride. No superchargers, no turbos, no extra tricks allowed. Just a strong engine running on its own power. The crew was getting ready for the day. They had the car up on jack stands. Someone was heating the oil in the dry sump tank to warm things up. This is normal stuff in drag racing. Engines run better when they're warm. The team was calm. Jerry was probably talking to his crew chief, Bill Orndorff. Fans were walking around the pits. Other teams were working on their cars. The smell of race fuel and hot rubber was in the air. Everything felt like just another race weekend. Then out of nowhere, a huge, loud blast shook the whole pit area. It was so loud it made everyone stop what they were doing. People jumped. Heads turned fast. Smoke and oil sprayed everywhere. Pieces of metal and parts flew through the air like shrapnel. The explosion came right from under Jerry's Pontiac Firebird. It wasn't a crash on the track. It wasn't an engine backfire. This was something much worse, right there in the pits where people were standing close. One crew member took the worst of it. Flying pieces hit him hard. He got seriously hurt. People ran to help him. Others just stood there in shock, trying to figure out what just happened. The air filled with thick white smoke and the smell of burned oil. The Pontiac's body was damaged. Oil was all over the ground. Tools and parts were scattered. The pit area went from busy racing spot to a total mess in 1 second. Everyone was confused at first. What blew up? Is everyone okay? Where did that come from? The car was supposed to be naturally aspirated, meaning no forced induction like nitrous. But this explosion felt like something high pressure let go. NHRA officials heard the blast from far away. They ran over quick. Safety crews came in. They made sure the hurt crew guy got help right away. Then they looked at the wrecked Pontiac. The officials started asking questions. This car is pro stock. It's not allowed to have nitrous. So why did it explode like that? They looked under the car. They saw oil everywhere. Then they noticed something strange. A small bottle had shot out or rolled from under the car. It was venting cold white gas. That gas was nitrous oxide, the stuff that gives big power boosts, but it's banned in pro stock. The bottle was still freezing cold from the pressure. It rolled a bit and stopped, leaking clouds of white vapor for everyone to see. That moment changed everything. The pits turned into a crime scene. NHRA inspectors took control. They told everyone to step back. No one could touch the car. They got their tools and started to check it carefully. They knew this was big. If nitrous was in a naturally aspirated car, it was cheating, big-time cheating. The inspectors worked slow and steady. They peeled back the fiberglass bodywork of the Pontiac Firebird. Piece by piece, they lifted it off. Underneath was the chassis, the frame that holds everything together. They looked inside the dry sump oil tank area. That's where the engine oil lives in these race cars. And there it was, the unthinkable evidence. A small nitrous bottle had been hidden right inside the oil reservoir. It was tucked away where no one would normally look. The bottle got way too hot when they warmed up the oil. The heat made the pressure inside build up fast. The bottle couldn't hold it. It ruptured, blew apart hard. That explosion sent oil flying, hurt the crew guy, and exposed the whole secret. The officials stared in disbelief. How did they hide this? This car passed tech before. The nitrous lines were there too, sneaky plumbing that fed the extra gas to the engine. But the bottle in the hot oil spot was the big mistake. One little thing, too much heat, turned their hidden advantage into a dangerous bomb. The whole pit lane went quiet. Other teams watched from a distance. Word spread fast. Eckman's car had nitrous. It blew up in the pits. People couldn't believe it. Jerry Eckman and Bill Orndorff stood there, faces pale. Their sponsors, Pennzoil and Pontiac, would hear about this soon. The NHRA impounded the car. They took it away for a full teardown. No one was allowed near it. That one blast didn't just wreck the car. It wrecked reputations. It hurt a man. And it started the biggest investigation in pro stock at the time. The pits that day went from racing to a full crime scene, all because of one hidden bottle that overheated and blew. This wasn't some small oops. This was the moment drag racing fans still talk about. It showed how far some teams would go to win. But it also showed that secrets don't stay hidden forever, especially when heat turns them into bombs. Inside the most infamous cheat in drag racing history. Now that we saw how the pits turned into chaos that day in Columbus, let's go deeper. Let's look inside Jerry Eckman's Pennzoil Pontiac Firebird. This wasn't some quick, sloppy cheat. This was smart, careful work, the kind that almost fooled everyone. The team built a whole secret system to add nitrous without anyone knowing. Until that one big mistake blew it all up. First, the main hiding spot, the nitrous bottle. They didn't just stick a big bottle somewhere easy to see. No way. They hid a small nitrous bottle right inside the dry sump oil tank. That's the big reservoir where the race car's oil sits. In pro stock cars back then, this tank is hot, real hot, especially when warming up the engine. But it's also a spot inspectors don't tear apart every time. They check the engine, the body, the frame, but not always deep inside the oil tank. The team figured this was perfect. The bottle stayed cool and hidden until they needed it. Or so they thought. Next, the sneaky plumbing, the lines that carry the nitrous. These weren't just rubber hoses taped on the outside. They ran the nitrous lines right through the hollow frame rails of the chassis. The frame rails are the long metal tubes that make up the car's backbone. They're empty inside, perfect for hiding thin lines. The team drilled small holes, fed the lines through, and sealed everything up so it looked normal from the outside. No one walking by or doing a quick tech check would spot them. The lines went from the hidden bottle, through the frame, up to the engine. There, they connected to special nozzles that sprayed the nitrous into the intake. That extra gas would give a big power boost, enough to make the car faster than the rules allowed. How did they turn it on without anyone knowing? They used a hidden toggle switch. This was a small switch, probably mounted somewhere low or inside the cockpit where inspectors wouldn't look close. To make it even sneakier, they wired it to a dummy battery box. In 1997, NHRA didn't have fancy computers or cameras everywhere like today. Their data tools were basic. A fake battery box looked like just another part of the electrical system. No one would think twice about it. The driver could flip the switch when he wanted the nitrous, get the extra kick down the track, then turn it off. Clean and gone. The plan was smart. They didn't use the nitrous all the time. From what people said back then, they saved it for key moments. Like a Saturday afternoon qualifying run when conditions were best. They'd hit it lightly to make the field, then take everything off or hide it again before more inspections. The car would pass tech looking 100% naturally aspirated. No extra power showing up. It worked for a while. Jerry Eckman was running strong. The team was competitive in a tough class. But here's where the genius turned into disaster. The one critical mistake, the pressure relief valve, or maybe the lack of a good one. Nitrous bottles have a safety valve. It lets pressure out if things get too hot or too much pressure builds. Without it working right, the bottle can turn into a bomb. In this case, the bottle was sitting in the dry sump oil tank. When the crew heated the oil to warm up the engine, a normal thing to do, the oil got hot. Really hot. That heat transferred to the hidden bottle. The nitrous inside started to expand. Pressure climbed fast. If the relief valve was missing, broken, or not strong enough for that heat, it couldn't release the pressure safely. Boom, the bottle ruptured. The explosion blew the oil tank apart. Oil sprayed out like a cannon. Shrapnel flew. That's what hurt the crew members so bad. That's what sent the nitrous bottle rolling out, venting cold white gas for everyone to see. One tiny part, a valve that should have saved the day, failed. And in 1 second, the whole secret came crashing out. NHRA inspectors didn't waste time. They tore the car down right there. They found the lines in the frame rails. They saw where the bottle had been hidden. They checked the dummy battery box and the toggle switch setup. Residue from nitrous was in the lines and injectors. There was no denying it. This was a full, sophisticated nitrous system, hidden better than most people thought possible in 1997. This cheat wasn't just about one bottle. It was about beating the system. Pro stock is supposed to be about factory hot rods, close to stock, no big tricks. But the pressure to win was huge. Sponsors wanted results. Fans wanted close races. Some teams pushed the rules hard. Eckman's team pushed too far. They built something clever, but forgot that heat can ruin even the best plan. That explosion didn't just end one run. It exposed what many people whispered about for years: hidden nitrous in pro stock. It made NHRA tighten rules. More inspections. Better ways to check. And for Jerry Eckman and Bill Orndorff, it meant the end of their NHRA careers, at least for a long time. Fines of $25,000 each. Indefinite suspension. Points gone. Sponsors pulling out. All because one hidden bottle got too hot. This is why it's called the most infamous cheat in pro stock history. It was smart. It was sneaky. It almost worked. But one mistake, too much heat on a hidden bottle, turned it into the biggest bang drag racing ever saw in the pits. After that loud explosion in the Columbus pits, nothing was the same for Jerry Eckman and his team. The blast didn't just wreck the car. It wrecked their whole world in drag racing. Let's walk through what happened next, step by step, and why this day still matters to pro stock fans today. Right after the smoke cleared, NHRA took charge. They locked down the area. No one could touch the Pontiac Firebird anymore. They loaded it onto a trailer and took it to a safe spot for a full teardown. Inspectors worked all night. They pulled every part apart. They looked inside the frame rails again. They checked the oil tank where the bottle had been hidden. They tested the lines for nitrous residue. They found it everywhere, in the nozzles, in the hoses, even traces in the engine. There was no way to deny it. This was cheating, plain and simple. The next morning, the news hit hard. Word spread through the pit lane like wildfire. Eckman's car had nitrous. It blew up hiding a bottle. Teams stopped what they were doing to talk about it. Some were shocked. Others said, "We knew something was off." Fans heard it on the radio and in the stands. Newspapers and racing magazines picked it up fast. The Pontiac Excitement Nationals kept going, but everyone's mind was on that one Pontiac that turned into a bomb. NHRA didn't wait long to hand out punishment. They called Jerry Eckman and crew chief Bill Orndorff in for a meeting. The decision came down quick and tough. Each man got fined $25,000. That was a lot of money back in 1997, enough to hurt bad. They got an indefinite suspension from NHRA racing. That meant no racing, no working in the pits, no being part of any team, at least for a long time. Later, it turned into a minimum 2-year ban. All points Jerry earned in 1997 were taken away. Any wins, any money, gone. The car was disqualified from anything it ran that year. Pennzoil and Pontiac, the big sponsors, pulled out fast. No company wants their name tied to cheating and explosions. The team lost their ride. They lost their jobs. Crew guys had to find new work. Jerry's racing career in NHRA was basically over. Bill Orndorff felt it too. They went from top-level pro stock to sitting on the sidelines. But the story didn't stop with one team. The explosion sent shockwaves through all of pro stock. Other teams got nervous. NHRA started checking cars harder. They looked deeper into oil tanks. They checked frame rails more carefully. They added better rules about where bottles could hide or banned certain spots completely. Tech inspectors got new tools and training. The class got tighter. It made racing fairer, but it also made things stricter for everyone. Some fans and old-timers still argue about it. Was Eckman the only one doing this? Or were others hiding nitrous too, and just didn't get caught? People whisper that hidden systems were around before. Maybe Eckman's team just got unlucky with the heat. Or maybe the explosion saved the class from more cheating. No one knows for sure. But one thing is clear, this was the biggest gotcha moment in pro stock history. It proved that even smart cheats can blow up, literally. Years later, people still talk about it at the track. Remember Eckman's bomb in Columbus? That bottle in the oil tank, crazy. It became a warning story. Teams tell young guys, don't try to hide stuff. It always comes out. NHRA uses it in training sometimes. See what happens when you push too far? The scandal changed how pro stock worked. It helped keep things closer to factory hot rods, like the rules wanted. For Jerry Eckman, it was a tough end. He had talent. He had fast cars. He was winning races. But one hidden bottle, one overheated mistake, took it all away. The crew member who got hurt recovered, thank goodness. But the memory of that day stayed with everyone who was there. This scandal wasn't just about one explosion. It was about trust in racing. Pro stock is supposed to be honest, engines against engines, driver against driver. When someone sneaks in extra power, it breaks that trust. Eckman's team paid the price. And drag racing got a little cleaner because of it. So next time you're at the track watching pro stock, think about 1997. Think about that Pontiac Firebird sitting quiet in the pits, until it wasn't. Think about the hidden lines, the dummy battery, the bottle that got too hot. And remember, in racing, secrets don't last forever. Especially when heat turns them into bombs. That's the full story of Jerry Eckman's Nitrous scandal, the secret tech that almost changed pro stock, and the one big mistake that ruined it all. And there you have it, the full story of Jerry Eckman's Nitrous scandal. The one that started with a quiet Pontiac Firebird in the pits, turned into a loud boom that hurt a crew guy, exposed a hidden bottle in the oil tank, and ended a racing career in one awful second. We started with that "where were you" moment back on June 13, 1997, at National Trail Raceway in Columbus. Remember how the explosion shook the whole pit area? How officials peeled back the fiberglass and found the secret tech nobody expected? Hidden lines running through the frame rails. A dummy battery box. A toggle switch to flip on the extra power. A small nitrous bottle tucked away where heat from the warm-up oil turned it into a ticking time bomb. One pressure relief valve that didn't do its job, or maybe wasn't even there right, and boom. The cheat that almost worked became the cheat that blew up everything. Jerry Eckman and Bill Orndorff paid a heavy price. Big fines, lost points, sponsors gone, and a long ban from NHRA. Pro stock got stricter rules because of it. The class stayed cleaner. But it left a mark on everyone who loves this sport. Looking back, it's easy to say they should have known better. But racing is tough. The pressure to win is huge. Teams push hard. Sometimes they push too far. Jerry's team built something clever, maybe the smartest hidden nitrous setup anyone tried in pro stock back then. It gave them an edge for a little while. Until one small mistake reminded everyone, nothing stays hidden forever when you're dealing with heat, pressure, and racing rules. This story isn't just about cheating. It's about what happens when trust gets broken in a sport built on fair fights. Pro stock is supposed to be about factory hot rods, close to what you could buy, but faster. No big secrets. No hidden bottles. When that trust cracks, like it did that day in Columbus, it hurts the whole paddock. Fans feel it. Drivers feel it. Crews feel it. But drag racing is tough. It bounces back. New teams come up. New stars take the wheel. Rules get better. And old stories like this one get told over and over at the track. Remember Eckman's bomb? Yeah, the one with the bottle in the oil tank, wild. It's part of the history now. A warning, a lesson, and a crazy tale that still gets people talking. So thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive. If you were around in '97, or if you just love hearing about the wild side of drag racing, drop a comment below. Where were you when you first heard about the Columbus explosion? Do you think other teams were doing the same thing? Or was Eckman's crew the only one bold enough to try it? If you enjoyed this, hit that like button. It helps more people find these old racing stories. Subscribe if you want more deep looks at drag racing scandals, hidden tech, and the moments that changed the sport. Next time, we'll dig into another wild one. Maybe the Dodge Boys break-in mystery, or that time a team got caught with something even sneakier. Until then, keep the shiny side up, the greasy side down, and remember, in pro stock, the rules are there for a reason. Sometimes it takes a big boom to remind us why. This is the end of Jerry Eckman's Nitrous scandal, the secret tech that ruined pro stock, and the one mistake that made sure it never happened the same way again. See you at the track.